Hey, Miranda. So yeah, I went in and looked at your scorecard, and we're going to start here with step two. Um, so right here is the formula that you needed to use. So let's look at your file. So, and instruction. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So on the loan analysis worksheet in cell C4, add or calculate the annual percentage rate for loan option 1. So, so in here you need to do the rate function. So formulas, financial, and then rate. So we need to analyze this a little bit. So we're doing monthly payments. The interest rate is an annualized rate. So we know we have to multiply it by how many times we pay in a year after we do this, because this function returns the periodic interest rate, and we want it to be the annual. So the number of payments is right here, C5. The payment is in C3. We're paying $460 a month. The present value, we're going to do a negative and pick the loan amount. And that's it for this function. So then you see it brings you a 1%. So we need to come up to this formula and multiply it by the 12 because that's how many times you make a payment in a month. And then we need to format it with 2 decimals. So we're just going to increase the decimals 1, 2. So it's 7.49. So that's cool. So 2 is done. So then 3 in cell C6, we need to figure out the total cumulative interest rate, right? So we want that to be cumulative. So we're going to use the cumulative interest payment function, right? So let's see if you got that one wrong. Close that up. Number 3. Yeah. So let's go back and look at this. So we're going to do formulas, financial, cumulative interest payment, the interest rate, we're going to do C4. We need to divide that by 12, right? Because remember, this is an annual rate. This needs to be periodic. So we're making monthly payments. So that's why I divide by 12. That's my thought process on why I did the divided by 12. The number of payments is in C5. The present value, which once again, remember in this one, if it begins with the CUM, you can't make the present value negative. So we'll have to do that after we finish here. So C2, the start period is a 1. The ending period is how, because this is a total cumulative, would be this C5, which is 84. And then remember, this is the one where you got to scroll down. There's another argument down here, and we're going to put a 0. We're going to go ahead and hit enter. It comes up as a negative. We're going to come between the equal and the C and do a negative sign, check mark it, and there it is. So then if we look at this, positive formatted as currency. So we're going to go home, drop down, currency. So that looks good. So number 3 is done. So then I think the one you were talking about in your email was 4. So let's go look at 4. Yeah, you did not get that cost of the loan by adding the loan amount to the cumulative. Okay, so all you're doing here in cell C7 is adding this amount time or plus the amount you're paying in interest. So this is just an equal. You're going to take the amount you have to pay back for the loan, which is $30,000, plus what you ended up paying in interest, the cumulative interest, which is why you would use that, because you're going to get that total amount. That's the cost of borrowing that money, right? So yeah, this looks wrong. Okay, so 4 is done. In F3, so let's go back here. F3, you got some of those points, and it's telling you here. So let's minimize that. So in F3, yeah, this one looks bad. So once again, we need to think about these things, right? So let's look at this loan. So we're making monthly payments, but the interest rate is an annual amount. So we know we're going to have to do some division of that interest rate, right? So if you look at yours, you just are saying F4, but you need to divide that by 12. Then F5 is good, and then the F2, you just need it to be negative F2. There you go. And then this needs to be currency, which I think it is. There we go. So on that one, you were close. 2 things that you didn't do was you didn't divide the annual interest rate by how many times you make a payment. So divide that by 12. And you didn't change the sign by either putting a negative in front of the loan amount or a negative between the equal and the PMT. So that's 5. I'm going to do one more. F6, calculate the total interest rate that would be paid through the life of the loan if payments were made at the end of the period. Okay, so F6. Where am I at? Oh, I think that one is good. Wait, something doesn't look right there. So here, F4 divided by 12, F5, F2, 1. So I think what they're expecting is to use, instead of 60, which, is fine, except we want to make it this cell, F5, comma, and then a 0, because it's end of period. Hold on. End of the period. So you would do a 0 there. Check mark it, and then that is the right number. And then that changes your total cost of your loan. So F6 is done. F7, you did that one good. Let's see, 8, I5. Let's go over there and see what we can see. All right, yeah. So something's not right here. Okay. In I5, calculate the total number of quarterly payments required to I5. So I think that one is actually, hold on a second, it's not right. It should be 24. So let's see what's going on. Once again, this is an annual. You didn't divide by how many times you make a payment, right? So quarterly. So you always need to think about that. Divide by 4 because it says quarterly, where this one said monthly, so I divided by 12. I3, and then once again, you need to do that negative amount. Oh, maybe you did. Oh, you did a negative. Oh, my bad. You did a negative in front of here, so I'm sorry. Let me take that out of there. That was my mistake. That is not right. Oh, that's because your total number of payments is not right. That should be 24. Okay, we don't need these zeros. Let's see what that is. Nope. What did we do here? Number of I4 divided by 4, I3. Well, this should be, I2. What is going on? I2. All right, let me pull it up this way. Let's look at it this way. Interest rate is I4 divided by 4. Payment is I3. That's good. Present value is I2. That absolutely looks good. So let's see what we're going on here. Oops. I gotta go to class. Hold on a second. Let me get through this one to fix. Okay, let's just do this over because I'm not sure what's going on here. So let's do this over. Financial, NPER, interest rate is 8.05 divided by 4. The payment amount is that amount, and the present value is negative 30,000, and I don't need to mess with either of those, so I'm going to say okay. That's right, 24. So I'm not sure what was, I couldn't see what was wrong with the other thing. This is still wrong though. So let's see what's going on here. So let's do financial. No, let's just do insert. Let's see what's going on. I4, so cumulative interest payment. Okay. And we got the negative in front of it. I4 divided by 4. I5 present value is I2 1. Oh, this should not be 12. We need to reference this cell because it tells us how many payments we're going to make, right? Which is 24. So that's why your formula was not coming out. And then that should be a 0. So we're going to do that. And that's still not right. What is going on? I4 divided. Oh, Helen, divided by 4. I'm so used to doing monthly. There we go. That's the right number we're looking for. So let me review that again. So we did I4 divided by 4 because it's quarterly. I5, I2, 1. I5 is the ending because we want the 24, and then 0. Okay, so then the total cost of the loan would just be, so we need to make this what? Currency or something? Currency. So then this total cost would just be equal this plus that. Okay, so that gets you up through 10. Then you have to do your amortization schedule. So, all right, hopefully that helps get you through these top parts. All right, let me know if you have more questions. Thanks.